Morning, fellow citizens. This is Sandra D. reporting live from the Denver News Studio, here with my co-host, Alexandra Russell.
A year ago today, the date of April 17th, 1961, a catastrophe occurred on the island of Bahia de Cochinos, also known as the Bay of Pigs. Nearly 1,500 Cuban exiles that had the support of the U.S. military landed on the island.
The Cuban exiles, with the help of the U.S. military, otherwise known as the CIA, attempted to attack Cuba in the hope of overthrowing their ruler Fidel Castro, a communist in which we were against. It has been said that President Kennedy was doubtful about this decision, but still approved.
When the Americans were flying over Cuba, we saw a missile base ready to be launched on their lands. In a matter of minutes, a whole entire city could be destroyed. When we come back, we'll sit down with President Kennedy himself.
Welcome back. We are here with President Kennedy, who's going to discuss the events that led up to the Cuban Missile Crisis and how he tackled the major issue and won.
Thank you for having me here.
President Kennedy, after the Bay of Pigs invasion, can you describe the tension leading up to the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Our goal was to remove Fidel Castro from power, and unfortunately it did not happen. As a result, tensions grew because the Soviet Union continued to supply Cuba with arms and ammunition. When one of our spy planes spotted missile launchers on Cuban soil only 90 miles from the coast of Florida, we knew we had to act fast.
When you saw the missile launchers, what became your plan of action?
We knew we had to act in a very quick and decisive manner. The missiles were too close for our comfort. I decided to set up a naval blockade so that Russian ships would not be allowed within 500 miles of Cuban soil. I also moved 100,000 soldiers to Florida in case military action needed to be taken.
What did Russia do when they heard that U.S. ships were starting a naval blockade around Cuba?
The Russians' reaction was one we had hoped for. They decided not to try to pass through the blockade. Shortly thereafter, Nikita Khrushchev, the Soviet leader, called my office to discuss the removal of all missiles from Cuban soil in exchange for the American pledge not to invade Cuba. And this is what later became known as the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Wow, thank you, President Kennedy. Now back to Alexandra at the studio. In our opinion, there is a political divide between the two countries. The United States favors a capitalist system that supports free enterprises, while the Soviet Union and Cuba use communist political systems where the government provides everything to its people. The bigger issue is the proximity of a communist country to the United States. The possibility of putting nuclear weapons only 90 miles away from U.S. territory is a big concern to all U.S. citizens. Good morning, co-host Alexandra Russell.
I mean, it's Russo, but whatever.
Catastrophe occurred on the island of
Bahia de Cochinos. Bahia.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Oh my God, look how old you look. Wow. Amazing what a blazer can do for a girl.
Go today, data...
Okay, let's get back to action.
Okay.
Peace out. Peace.